Everyone seemed to enjoy the last story I told about my wife, so I thought I'd try to tell another one tonight. It was a few nights ago. We like to go out, and we both work at full-time jobs, and we like to go out some nights and have dinner out and not have to prepare anything at the house. And one of our favorite places to go is a nearby Mexican restaurant called Buena Vista. It's one of our, there's several Mexican restaurants close nearby, but that's our favorite, normally where we'll go. My favorite Mexican dish is always what they call a burrito California. It's a huge, big burrito that almost fill up your plate. Just one burrito comes on the plate and that's it. You get chips and a burrito California and that's all you need. The thing will weigh about a pound, so that's always my favorite food. So anyway, we went over to this restaurant the other night and went in, and they seated us in an area where there was already a younger couple seated in that area, and we were the only people in that particular area of the restaurant. And the way they seated us, the young couple was to my wife's back, and I was across the table from her, so I could see this young couple sitting over by the entryway into this area of the restaurant. So we ordered our food, and it came, and we started eating, and I looked up and talking with my wife, and noticed a young couple over there, and they were both kind of leaning forward and looking over my way. And I didn't think much about it and went about eating. And next time I looked up, they either one or both would be kind of craning their necks, looking over straight at me. So it kind of unnerved me a little bit. You wonder why somebody is kind of observing you or staring at you. So I sat there eating, and I got to thinking. I said, well, to myself, didn't mention it to the wife, but said to myself, they may look on YouTube. They may have seen me on YouTube talking about this area and seen some of the videos I've done of some of the scenic beauty around here, and I bet they've recognized me. They're looking and recognize me from being on YouTube. So I said, it kind of ran around my mind, and I said to myself, that's kind of nice to be, recognized in your hometown for something that you didn't really expect to be recognized for. And sure enough, I kind of positioned myself so I kind of show them my best side, if there is one, and position myself so my turkey neck wouldn't show, But I didn't want to be obvious that I knew that they were observing me and looking at me, but kind of enjoying the moment, with that celebrity there of being observed, or at least I thought that's what it was. Sat there and finished the rest of them, or working on the rest of her meal, and sure enough, every time I'd look up, the girl with the young lady would be looking over at me, or sometimes they would even be saying something between the two, and they would be looking my way. It was obvious they were looking over my way. So I was really enjoying the moment. And finally they finished before we did, and they got up and left. And I kind of ran through my mind, since they have probably seen me on YouTube, surely they won't come over and say anything about it. They'll just they'll just tell their friends they saw Mess About One at the Mexican restaurant. It's kind of what ran through my mind. And anyway, they left. I sat there, and my wife and I were eating, and we hadn't said much, and I said, there was a young couple sitting over there behind you, and I could see them, and I said, all during our meal, they were looking over this way and kind of, straining to see, and I could tell they were looking at me, and I think they may have recognized me from being on YouTube. The wife didn't say much, and I sat there and ate a little more, and I still enjoying the moment, and I said, yeah, I think that's what it was. They had seen me on YouTube, and they recognized me as that Mess About One on YouTube. My wife looked up with kind of a dry face and said, yeah, said it could have been that, or it could have been they're talking about that big old chunk of burrito you've got hung in your beard there, just right down below your lips. You know what? Wives really know how to burst a man's bubble.